Start the recording. There we are. And so thank you. So now at this time, we ask that you please mute your mics for the best sound experience. That way your feedback doesn't interfere with the information we'll be sharing with you today. So without further ado, here's Miss Luz Cadena. Miss Cadena?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Can everyone hear me? Quick sound check.
Yes, ma'am.
Perfect. Thank you. Thank you so much. And thank you for having me here. Hello, everyone, and good afternoon. We just got a tiny bit of rain here in Horizon. I don't know if you got any rain either. If you haven't, I hope that some raindrops are headed your way. We certainly can use them. So good afternoon. Again, my name is Luz Cadena. I am the Interim Director of Distance Learning Support Services at Epcc. I'm also an adjunct instructor with the college. I teach history out of the Mission del Paso campus. So I use Blackboard not only as the manager of the department, but also as an instructor. So we're here this afternoon to talk a little bit about Blackboard and learning online at Epcc, which we've all had to do the past year because of the emergency situation that the world has found itself in. But while online learning was definitely a part of Epcc's instruction, I think after this, it's going to take on an even greater role. I think the number of online courses at the college is going to stay fairly high after what we just experienced. Not just for safety reasons, but again, a lot of students have come to realize that online courses fit their busy schedules. You have lives to live, right? Work and families, and trying to earn your degree or certificate at the college. And online courses can help you achieve that because of the flexibility. But with that flexibility comes a lot of responsibility also. Taking online courses is not any easier than taking a face-to-face course. And as a matter of fact, some students find that online courses can be a bit more challenging because they're different, but two, in many ways, you're left up to your own devices to motivate yourself to get your coursework done. So when we attend face-to-face classes, we have an instructor right in front of us several times a week, reminding us about what we need to do, filling our heads with information via lectures and presentations. And when we're online, we don't necessarily have that luxury. We have to depend on ourselves to pay attention to what's in the course and to get the work done. And so there's some adjustment that's definitely needed when taking online courses. But we also want you to know that there are lots of resources out there to help you make that adjustment. And I want to share a couple of those resources with you today, and they're all related and tied to Blackboard, okay? So what I want to start sharing with you is what you see on the screen, which is our Learning Online at Epcc Spring Handbook. Distance Learning used to send postcards to students who registered for online courses, but now all students are taking online courses, or at least courses with some online portion, for example, hybrid courses. And so we began developing this handbook, which is several pages long. I think it's 7 specifically, because 1, we realized that students needed more information that could fit on a postcard, and 2, we realized that we can send it via email to all students. So students, please check your Epcc email often. I'm sure you've heard that before. Check it often because not only distance learning, but the entire college sends really important information to you via your Epcc email, and there are certainly some connections between Blackboard and your email. So check your college email. I know that young adults especially are not used to email. They prefer to get everything on text, but here's the reality. Once you finish school and are a professional out in the professional world, as many of my colleagues in the room can attest to, email is going to be a big part of your work life. And so it'd be a good idea to start getting used to communicating via email as soon as possible, okay? So what you see on the screen is our spring handbook, and we began sending a link to this handbook to all students as far back as November, I believe. and we sent it several times. And it's located at the bottom of our emails. And I'll also show you where else in Blackboard you can get a copy of this handbook. We are going to update this handbook every semester. So at the moment, oh, thank you. That's awesome. Also, we are in the process of updating the handbook for summer. So very soon, you'll start receiving information about the Learning Online at EPCC Summer 2021 Handbook. And a lot of the information won't change, but some of it will, because we are dealing with technology, and technology is ever evolving. And so we want to make sure we get you the latest information out there. So I want to focus on a few parts of this handbook that I really would like for you to focus on. And then we'll go into Blackboard because I want to show you some really neat things in Blackboard. Okay? So if we have any faculty in the room, please know that as faculty, we also sent you a copy of this handbook so that you are aware of the information that we're sharing with students. And the handbook is also a great resource to upload to your courses, to your Blackboard courses, because again, not all students do check their EPCC emails. So the more hands that we can get this handbook into, the better. Okay. So let me make this a little smaller. So the handbook starts talking about spring courses, and again, soon we'll change this to summer, and the three main types of courses offered at the college because of COVID-19, which are online synchronous, and hybrid. So synchronous and asynchronous are really big words, but they're really important words to understand. Synchronous, of course, means at the same time, right? So some online courses are synchronous in that the course is set to meet, let's say, Tuesdays and Thursdays at 8:30. You have to meet your instructor online at that time because you're meeting at the same time, synchronously, okay? I believe that these courses are indicated in Banner when you register. It will tell you that that course is synchronous, so you will know if you have to meet your instructors at a particular date and time virtually, okay? But most online courses are asynchronous, which means not at the same time, right? So that means that you can log into your Blackboard course at any time and complete work at any time as long as you meet your deadlines. So if a test is due tomorrow by 5 p.m., you can log in tonight at 2 a.m., right, in the morning, and complete that test as long as it's completed by 5 p.m. So most online courses, again, are asynchronous. We do have a few courses that are hybrid. Hybrid means a mix, right? A mashup, if you will. And so hybrid courses meet partially online and partially face-to-face. A lot of these courses are career technology classes or are health professions classes, such as nursing or automotive tech, where that hands-on experience and learning is really, really important to the course. And so again, you will know if you are taking a hybrid course because that will be indicated in Banner. Now, I believe this is not going to change much for the summer, but come fall 2021, there are going to be a lot more hybrid courses and a lot more just a lot more hybrid courses. EPCC is working really hard at trying to get students back on campus and get them back on campus safely. So keep checking your email for important information from the college with regard to specifics on what the fall semester is going to look like. But whatever happens, EPCC will continue offering fall courses. Should COVID get out of hand again, and we hope it doesn't, we can very easily transition back online, especially since we now all have that experience under our belts. I believe we'd be prepared to do that, okay? The other thing I want to talk about with regard to your courses are the start dates. So this is one of the things that confuses students the most, okay? So at EPCC, we have what we call different parts of term. We actually have different semesters that last different amounts of time. The most common are 16-week courses, mini-mester 8-week courses, and summer 5-week courses and 10-week courses. But there are some courses that last 7 weeks. There are some continuing ed courses that last maybe just a couple of weeks. So it's really important when you register for your courses that you check the dates of those courses, right? You may have registered for a late start course that starts a little bit later in the semester. So when you register for courses, always check those dates, because you will not be able to access your Blackboard courses until the first day of that course. So for example, in a 16-week course that started in January, if you were taking a 16-week course, that course opened at 12:01 a.m. on January the 19th. But if you were taking a late start class, your Blackboard class did not open until February the 1st at 12:01 a.m. So it's really, really important that you check those start dates, not just the start dates, but the end dates. Okay, you may have registered for an 8-week class without realizing it, and the class ends in March. Maybe you registered for a late start, etc. So those start and end dates are very important. Again, you cannot access your Blackboard course until the first day of the class, and you can only access your course until the very last day at 11:59 p.m. So on May 16th, when the semester officially ends, you won't be able to access those courses anymore. Okay, so those are very important. And note here your drop dates for those particular parts of term. Okay, these are not the only parts of term. These are the most common ones, which is why, again, I encourage you to check your start dates. Okay, and we do make mention of that right here. I want to make sure you're aware of all the tools available to you to help you while you're learning online. The EPCC website has a great remote toolkit. You can link to it here. It takes you to that page. There's lots of great college resources that you can access on the Contact Live page, including tutoring. Okay. And you can also learn what the latest is with regard to our college's response to COVID-19. What's the latest? What's the plan? So the information is there. You just need to go out and access it. Okay. Remember that you can also get information through My EPCC when you first log in. On the right-hand side of My EPCC, you have announcements and calendar dates, and there's even more information there with regard to the college's response to COVID-19. I will stress again that your EPCC email is really important for you to check. If you don't want to bother with managing two emails, your personal email and your college email, there is a way for you to forward your college email to your personal email, so you're only checking one mailbox. Okay, but it's really important that when you're communicating with the college and you're communicating with regard to official college business, that you use your college email because it helps confirm your identity, right? Because you're the only one who has access to that email. But again, we're making sure that we're using a professional email, if you will, right? For example, you don't want to be emailing financial aid from sexylegs915@gmail.com, right? You want to use an email that sounds a bit more professional, if you will. So please check your EPCC email daily if you can, if not, at least a couple of times a week. And of course, Blackboard. Blackboard is the LMS, the learning management system that we use for teaching and learning here at EPCC. So there's some basic information for you here. You can check the basic technology requirements. You don't need a whole lot to use Blackboard on your computer. You need to make sure you have the most up-to-date operating system on your computer. It works on Windows and on Macs. You can even access Blackboard from your mobile phone, but you can look at your requirements here. One of the most important things you want to make sure you have on your device computer so that you can use Blackboard effectively is the most updated browser. Now, here are the browsers that are most common out there and that Blackboard works with: Google Chrome, Edge, Firefox, and Safari. Internet Explorer, no one should really have Internet Explorer on their computers anymore. That browser has been retired. If you still have Internet Explorer on your computer, it should be asking you to update it to Edge. And if you need help with updating browsers, contact the IT department at the college. They can certainly help you with that. But you want to make sure that your browsers are always up to date. And you also want to clear your browser history every so often. It kind of cleans up your browser and allows Blackboard to work better, much more efficiently and effectively. If you don't know how to clear your browser history, click right here. A document will open that takes you step by step on how to clear your browser history on all these different browsers. So that help, again, is available to you. Okay. Now, how do you access Blackboard? Well, you access Blackboard by logging into my.epcc.edu. You log into My EPCC using your EPCC email and your email password. As soon as you log into My EPCC, you'll have lots of resources available to you. Not only the link to Blackboard, but the link to your email, the link to applications that you have free access to as a college student, like Office 365 and a lot of great Microsoft applications that can help you with your schoolwork. Okay. If you don't know your password or something goes wrong with your password, you can always use the EPCC account recovery page to recover your password. If for some reason that doesn't work, you can always call the IT help desk at 831-6440. Okay. But as soon as you click on that Blackboard link, you're going to see a really beautiful picture of an EPCC graduation ceremony. You're simply going to type in your username and your password again, the same one you used to log into My EPCC, and you're in Blackboard. You will know immediately that you're in Blackboard. If you're logging into Blackboard for the first time, you'll get a nice welcome message. If it's not the first time you log into Blackboard, you'll automatically be taken to the activity stream, and I'll show you that in a moment. Okay. To access your courses, you're going to click on the link on the left that says Courses, and it'll take you to your current courses page. Under the current courses page, the courses will be listed there that are currently open. So your summer courses, if you've registered for summer courses, they're not going to show yet under current courses. You'll have to go to upcoming courses to see that. And I'll take you through a demonstration in just a moment, so I won't get into too much detail on that. Now, because most of our instruction is online, one of the concerns for a lot of faculty, and one for me also as a faculty member, is if my students are following, those principles and guidelines of academic integrity, right? There's always that concern that students might be cheating. And so to help deter cheating, a lot of your faculty, your instructors may be using Lockdown Browser or Lockdown Browser and Monitor, which records students as they're taking an assessment. One of the big reasons why faculty use this is because they want to make sure that the person who's supposed to be taking the test is taking the test, right? Not mom or dad or brother, sister, friend, or spouse, anything like that. So your instructor will let you know if they're using Lockdown Browser on for your exams. They'll also provide you additional information. For example, I do allow my students to use open book tests. That's me as an instructor. But I still use the webcam because I want to make sure that they are the ones taking their tests, right? They're using their own brain power. And so your instructors may have different rules and guidelines for taking tests. So make sure you read their instructions thoroughly, read the syllabus thoroughly, and if you have any doubts, always ask your instructor questions. Now, we did create a completely separate guide for Lockdown Browser. And if you click this link here, it'll take you to that guide. It'll show you not only how to download and install Lockdown Browser on different devices, but it also gives you some tips about how to take the test and any other kind of information you might need with regard to Lockdown Browser. And if we have instructors, again, in the room, that's a great document to upload to your courses also, okay? Other instructors may ask you to purchase an access code to access publisher content. Your instructor will provide you that information. Number 5 is really important. You may or may not know that there is a free app for your phones for both iOS and Windows devices and Android called Blackboard. And when you download the application, the little tile for that application will look like this. This is a free download. All you have to do is download it to your device, log in with your EPCC credentials, and you have access to Blackboard through this app. You have access to your courses. And you can do most course work through the application, except for taking tests using Lockdown Browser. You do have to use a computer or an iPad for that. But there are a lot of things that you can do using the application. So if someone at home is using the computer and you need to complete a short assignment or maybe a discussion board, you can do it on your phone. I know young adults especially, their thumbs are great at typing on the mobile phones. Mine isn't. I'm always making mistakes because I'm too clumsy. But I see my 17-year-old nephew type really, really fast using his thumbs on his device. So a lot of you can probably do that too. So there's a lot that you can do on the mobile app. And if you want more information, you can click this link to watch a video. Okay. If you're new to online learning, if you're new to Blackboard, I want to make you aware that there are Blackboard tutorials available to you so that you can simply become familiar with the tool, with the LMS. Here are some instructions on how you can enroll yourself. It's really easy. Just follow these steps and you can enroll yourself into that tutorial. It's not for a grade. It's nothing big, if you will. It just takes you through what a course might look like, and it actually allows you to practice doing some of these things. For example, you can practice sending a discussion board, you can practice submitting an assignment, etc. So you can register, or not register, excuse me, you can enroll yourself into these tutorials at any time. Now, we're also beginning to roll out a new version of the Blackboard course view called Blackboard Learn Ultra. And some of you may be already taking a course in Ultra, or you may see that an upcoming course is in Ultra. How will you know? When you log into Blackboard and you click on courses, and you see here under current courses or upcoming courses, if you see one of your course cards, C-A-R-D-S, these are what these are called, course cards. If you see one with a color bar on the left, that is a clear indication that your course is going to be in Blackboard Learn Ultra. If it's in gray, your course will be in Blackboard Learn Original. We have tutorials for both Original and Ultra. Okay, and if you're interested in taking or being enrolled into the Blackboard Learn Ultra tutorial, unfortunately, at the moment, there is no self-enroll option. However, all you need to do is email us at dlss@epcc.edu from your school email and say, can you please enroll me in the tutorial? And within 24 hours, we will enroll you in that tutorial and you'll be able to access it. Okay, so there's plenty of help available for you so that you can begin learning how to navigate using these tools. Okay. Speaking of tools, there's a great tool that's in Blackboard called Ally, A-L-L-Y, Ally. Ally is a really amazing tool that is in all your courses that allows you to download your course files in different formats to fit your device, to fit your needs, and to even fit your learning preferences. Okay. So what Ally does is, if your instructor has uploaded a Word file or a PowerPoint file to the course, you can download it so that you can consume it in different ways. Let me give you an example. Let's say you're on a road trip and someone else is driving and you say, well, while I'm sitting here, riding shotgun, let me go over some of the notes that my instructor uploaded to the course. You're on your phone and you go to click the notes and you realize that the notes are in Word format, Microsoft Word. Well, in order to open a Word document, you need Word on your device. What if you don't have Word on your mobile device? What if you don't have enough space to download Word on your device? What you can do is trigger Ally and tell Ally to convert that Word document to a PDF document, because PDFs are universal, right? They open on any device. It'll convert that Word document or even that PowerPoint document to PDF, and you'll be able to open it on your device. Okay, that's really, really cool. let's say it's, your night to do dishes, but you really wanted to review some of the notes that your instructor put on the course. You can convert those notes to an audio MP3, and it'll convert it to a sound file, right? And when you're ready to wash dishes, that file that it converts it to, you hit play, and an artificial intelligent voice will read those notes out to you while you're washing dishes, and you can hear the notes being read to you as you're washing those dishes, right? So this again allows you to consume your course content in a way that not only fits your needs, but also fits your preferences. I like to hear. It's a really neat option. I like to hear things being read to me while I read them at the same time. It helps me learn better, which is why I still read out loud to myself, right? So if you're that kind of learner, you like to hear the words as you're reading, you can use Ally to do that. It's an amazing tool. It also works on the Blackboard app, and it's great. It's a great tool. So if you want to learn more about Ally, you can click this link here to see it in action and how it works. And you've probably already seen it in your courses, but you're not quite sure what it is. It's a great, great tool. Okay. So the key to being successful in an online course, and actually the key to almost anything, right, to being successful at anything, is starting strong. You want to start strong so that you can finish strong, right? So that first week of any course, whether it's online or face-to-face, is really important. First of all, you need to show up, right? Because you're going to miss so much, you're going to miss a lot of information that it really lays that foundation for your success in that course, right? Going over the syllabus with your instructor, getting to know your instructor's expectations, right? Getting to know your classmates and your colleagues in that course. So the first day is important. When that course is online, it's really important for you to log in on that very first day. If you wait 3-4 days, you're already 3 or 4 days behind. So even if there's nothing for you to do that first day, you don't know until you log in. So log in, read that syllabus, make sure you understand it, look at the calendar. If you don't understand something in the syllabus, reach out to your instructor for clarification. Pay attention to that course calendar. Make sure you note the due dates, major projects, tests. Add those to your calendar on your phone, or if you like to keep a written calendar, whatever you use to keep yourself organized, begin to make note of all your course due dates in that system that you use, okay? Explore the course, learn how your instructor has organized the course. And again, if you have questions, reach out to your instructor, right? Look at what materials you're going to need. Are you going to need to purchase a book or several books or an access code? Maybe it's an art class and you need materials. So make sure you purchase your materials and order them as early as possible, especially since a lot of us are ordering items online. The mail can take a little longer than we expect, so you want to get those done as early as possible. Download that app to your phone, the Blackboard app. Set up your notifications, because you will get notifications on your phone when due dates are approaching, things of that nature. Complete any coursework that you have due that first week. Do it by the deadline, right? You want to start off on the right foot. And then that helps you set a plan for success for the rest of the semester, right? And then whatever you did that first week to be successful, you keep doing it every week after that, okay? And then go on and do it with the next class. So you need to start strong. And so set up that plan for success, right? So a couple of things I want to point out here. You don't want to procrastinate, right? You don't want to dig yourself into a hole that's difficult to get yourself out of, right? So try not to procrastinate as much as you can. Remember that you need to show up to your online courses just like you show up face-to-face. That means logging in every day just to check for messages, announcements that your instructor might put. You might not have to do something in the course that day, but it's always good just to check in, okay? Hold yourself accountable, right? There's no one else who can hold yourself accountable as much as you yourself. So set those goals, check in with yourself weekly. I will do this assignment one day early because I have another assignment due for another class after that. So set yourself a routine, right? And then don't forget to ask for help, right? Don't forget to ask for help. So be organized, be proactive instead of reactive, and then be mindful. You want to take care of your coursework, but you also want to take care of yourself, right? If if you're not rushing to, play catch up with your courses, it allows you some downtime also to enjoy time with your families, have fun, going out to the park to play soccer, to play video games, to spend time with your kids or your parents. You want to find balance. Balance is definitely the key. And you can only do that if you manage your time wisely, right? So make sure you do that. Find a space to study where you can eliminate those distractions. And I know it's really hard right now when we're not quite under quarantine as much as we were before, but really it is kind of still safer for us to stay home as much as possible. So if you are staying home and there's lots of people at home and lots of pets, I know it can be hard to find a quiet place to study. Try to find a space that's just yours. Turn off the TV. Right? I know some of us like to use music while we work, but music can also be distracting sometimes, especially when you're reading. If you're like me, if you're listening to music while you're reading, I wind up starting to sing, the Lady Gaga lyrics instead of, reading my history book. So turning off all distractions, reading out loud to yourself can really, really help. And there's a really neat series of videos on YouTube called Crash Course. And they have a video called Crash Course Study Skills. They give you some great tips on how to study, how to take notes, how to organize yourself for college. Right? Figure out your learning preferences. Are you a visual learner? Are you an auditory learner? Ally can help you with that, right? But also it'll help you find resources that can help you. So I mentioned reading your textbook out loud. You won't believe how much it's going to help you focus on what you're reading out loud. If you have kids at home and they won't go to sleep, guess what? Break out your textbook and start reading to them. One, you'll be learning and keeping up with your coursework, but two, you might put those kids to sleep. So read out loud. It might help you focus. It'll improve your comprehension. It actually sharpens your listening skills because you're listening inside your own head. So it's really, really helpful. Yeah, I read out loud to myself all the time. When I was in college, I lived in the dorms. I went to college in San Antonio, and I would pace inside my tiny dorm room back and forth with my book, reading out loud to myself. And sometimes my neighbors or my friends would be like, "Is someone in the room with you? What are you talking about?" I'm like, "No, I'm just reading to myself. I'm studying." It may have sounded a little strange, but hey, it got me through college, and it still gets me through anything I need to learn. Okay. To wrap up here, be an active participant. Use your voice. Don't be afraid to speak up and ask questions. It's so important. As an instructor, I can't tell you how many students have missed out on learning experiences or points on an assignment or something because they didn't understand, but they also didn't ask me questions. If they would have simply reached out to me and say, "Wait a minute, can you clarify what this means?" And if I would have clarified it, they would have gotten those points, right? Or it would have gone from a C to a B or a B to an A. Do not be afraid to ask questions and ask for help. There's no shame in asking for help. So whether it's asking your instructor, whether it's going to tutoring, whether it's going to your counselor, whether you're struggling with something like depression or anxiety and you're reaching out for help, you need to ask for help because we none of us can get by in the world without help, right? And ultimately, all of us here at EPCC, what we want is your success, and we're here to help you do that. Okay. And as I mentioned earlier, make time for self-care, right? It's not optional, right? Take steps to eat properly, get some sleep, and this kind of can be incorporated into your time management, right? Throughout the day, I take a moment to just step away from my computer and go take a quick walk outside the backyard with my dog, right? I need to just take a breather. Of course, when it's not blowing wind and storm and dirt in my face, but take a moment to get up, take a breather, right? Do your yoga, go for a walk, like I said. If you need to play 20 minutes of Mario Kart, you do that. But you really need to take care of yourselves, right? Like it says here, you don't want your battery to wear all the way down because it'll have horrible consequences for you, right? Lastly, I want to make sure you're aware that there are all these resources here available to assist you and resources here. So we break down if you need some kind of technical assistance, this is who you reach out to, right? Whether it's Blackboard, if it's something like Banner or EPCC email, reach out to the IT department. If it's something specific to the course, reach out to your instructor first, okay? They might be able to say, it's set up correctly, maybe you need to now move on to distance learning, etc. But we're here to help you. Here are lots of great resources to assist you, okay? So let me pause right there for just a moment before we go to Blackboard to see if there are any questions about this handbook. Okay. So the last few minutes that we have here, I want to take you into Blackboard. So, and I want to point out a few things. First things first, what you're going to notice is when you open Blackboard, whether you're an instructor, whether you're a student, the page that you land on is called your activity stream. This, I like to call this the Twitter of your Blackboard classes because it gives you up-to-date information about things that are happening in your courses or at EPCC. You'll see these little megaphones here. These are announcements. So these could be announcements from your instructor in the course, or they can be announcements from the college, right? So things about registration, or like you see one here, if you're struggling with mental health, there's help available. So if you simply click that, it'll open a panel over here. And you can get some information. You know, if there's any kind of, for example, a change in schedule for tutoring, or maybe they're going to close for a holiday, you know, we kind of help sometimes by posting announcements here for them, or any other kind of announcement that's really important to everyone. So we can post those here. But you'll also get information about due dates and things that are available to you. You can control what you see in your notifications here with this little gear right here. Okay. Right here, it's in Blackboard. So what do you want to see with regard to notifications? Well, anytime my instructor posts new content, please let me know. When the instructor posts something new in the calendar, when someone, you know, writes something in my journal, etc., you can do that. You can also get email notifications. If you notice here, email me right away when someone sends me a new message or when something's due, or you can email me once a day. You notice the one I have checked here is new messages, email me right away. So the moment one of my students sends me a message in my course messages in Blackboard, I get an email on my phone. As students, you can set the same thing. If the instructor sends you a course message in Blackboard, you can be notified immediately in your college email, and then you can, that way it lets you know that you can log in to Blackboard to check that message, because it could be really important, right? Here what this little bell is, this is where you can set up push notifications for the application. So if you've downloaded the application, you can say, send me notifications when any of these happen here. So these are great things to help you stay organized, right? And stay engaged in your courses. Now I want to mention courses over here. Speaking of, when you click on courses right here, again, these are where your current courses are. If you are registered for a future course, it's going to be here on upcoming courses. So if I go here, if I registered for any summer courses, my summer courses will appear here. Now, if summer begins, the summer term begins, I'd say on May 27th. On May 27th at 12:01 a.m., right after midnight, the course will move from here to upcoming courses. It'll move to current courses because that course is now current. Now, if you want to look at any past courses or maybe what you took in another semester, you can go here to past courses. So notice I can go to summer 2019, okay, spring 2020. They are in alphabetical order, or you can use this drop-down menu. This is actually easier to navigate to your courses. I can go back to current courses, okay? Remember I mentioned that there are two course views being used at EPCC at the moment. You have Blackboard Learn Original. So Blackboard Learn Original, okay, or what we call old school Blackboard, is here with the gray bar. So if I click in that course, I see the traditional Blackboard with the menu on the left and my content here on the right. This is Blackboard Learn Original, okay? And again, you'll notice because of that gray bar, but also notice it says right here, Original Course View. If you're taking a course in Ultra, it's going to have a colored bar. You cannot choose the color. Blackboard automatically generates that for you. And then you simply click, and here's so you can take a look at what Ultra looks like. Ultra is very, very different. See how it looks different? It's got a nice, crisp, clean white page. You will see the name of your instructor at the top with your instructor's image if they've uploaded one. You have tools at the top, tools on the left, and your content is right here. So this is my actual history course, okay? So all, as a student, you would need to do is to click there, right? And then you can click on the welcome page. So every instructor organizes their courses differently, although there are some commonalities in courses. But you can see here the page just opens there, and I introduce myself to my students, etc., etc. Okay. Of course, I even put a picture of my little dog because she's super cute. Okay. So eventually, all of EPCC will be using Ultra. Right now, we are in the process of training your instructors, training faculty, so they can learn how to use Ultra, so we can transition over. As of right now, the recording of this session, we've trained about, let's see, 400 faculty on Ultra. So more and more faculty will begin to be using Ultra, and US students will begin to see more and more Ultra courses in your Blackboard. Okay? All right, the last thing I want to review with you is this new item right here. It looks like a little rocket. It's called Assist. Now, this is something that we turned on in January, and it's a great resource for you to get links to important EPCC departments and help resources without having to leave Blackboard. So let me refresh my page because it's not opening. So if you need assistance with tutoring, with counseling, with first year experience, if you're a dual credit student, you don't have to leave Blackboard to get access to these resources. They are right here for you on BB Assist or on Assist. So let me close this here. Let me make this a little smaller. So at the top, you'll always see two features or two services featured. Right now we have registration and we have the Writing Center. All you have to do is click on it and it takes you to that page for the Writing Center where you can get some information and you can even watch a video and you can get connected to the Writing Center, okay? And we try to change these every couple of days, right, to feature different ones. Earlier or last week we had a tutoring, and we're going to move tutoring back up here in a couple of days. But notice you have everything there in alphabetical order, so accounts receivable, Blackboard Learn Ultra videos for students, okay? The bookstore, notice again, alphabetical order, and it gives you a brief description. And it simply takes you to those resources where you can learn more because we're very limited in the space that we can have here. So dual credit advisors are here, distance learning. That lockdown browser guide I told you all about, if you click here, you have access to that guide here for lockdown browser and monitor. Take a look at that. And it allows you even to download that document there, okay? Let me go back here to Blackboard. Mental health resources, right? The handbook we just reviewed, guess what? It's right here. So for faculty, for those of you in the room also, you can access these student resources yourself and let students know where they are or download them and add them to your course, okay? The recorded Tejano virtual events for students. This recording that's taking place right now will eventually be available at this link here. They do a great job of keeping record of those, and there'll be some other types of recordings being added soon. This afternoon, we'll be adding Tejano Passport to this page. We'll also be adding, Dr. Weissman. Service learning. We'll be adding service learning to this page this afternoon also, okay? If you want to register, you want to speak to someone about registration, because registration is open now for summer, and fall registration opens on April 1st. And if you need to make a plan for what courses you need to take next, well, it's really important that you click here on counseling and meet with your counselor so you can set a plan for the courses you need to take next semester, okay? So look at all this information. It's right here at your fingertips. All you have to do is click on it and access it. Here's Tutoring Center. Here's Veterans Affairs, and of course the Writing Center is down here also. So all these tools are available to you. We will continue to add more. We don't want to add too many, right? We don't want to make it overwhelming, although it may seem overwhelming already. but we really do want this to be a place where you can go while you're in your class and go get some tutoring help while you're in your math class, etc. So check out this page. It's really, really helpful, and you can find lots of great information here on the BB Assist page. Okay, so let me pause right there. Any questions? Please feel free to type them in the chat from anyone in the room. It can be faculty, it can be students, any of our staff members in the room. Blackboard training, that's a very good question. Are we having Blackboard training? So are you speaking about training for faculty or for students? For staff, yeah. So we don't necessarily provide a lot of training for staff. We never really kind of had to before until COVID. But if you'd like to request some training on something specific, like maybe you need a refresher on Collaborate or anything like that, please feel free to reach out to us so we can certainly set something up for you. I know that your department specifically uses Collaborate a lot, and you'd be happy to know that there's some really cool updates coming to Collaborate. So maybe once those updates take place, maybe we can set up a quick refresher, and so I can show you all about those updates. Yeah, they're going to be pretty cool, and they'll continue coming. They'll continue coming. Yeah, well, we'd be happy to set something up with you. Yes, of course. You're very welcome. Sure. One of the big updates that is coming soon, probably next month, and it's already in mode with some Blackboard users, is the gallery view. So some of you are familiar with Teams, and one of the really cool things about Teams is you can have multiple cameras on at the same time to be able to see the whole room, the whole group that you're speaking with. Well, guess what's coming to Collaborate? The gallery view. So you'll be able to have up to 24 webcams on at the same time in Collaborate, so that you can have true group meetings with a group of individuals. So that's one of the big updates that is coming. Along with that, they're going to release updates after that to be able to show the gallery and then the content on the same page side by side. So for example, I could share my screen, but then on the other half would be the gallery view of all the webcams on at the same time. So again, fairly similar to Teams. They're also working on auto captioning recordings. So if you recorded something, when you save it, Blackboard will auto caption it for you. Of course, it's not going to be 100% accurate because of diction. I tend to speak really quickly, or sometimes I can mumble, but you'll be able to go in and edit those captions so that your videos, your recordings on Collaborate are accessible to all users. So those are just some of the updates that are coming fairly soon. Absolutely, absolutely.
Does anyone have any more questions for Ms. Carena? Okay, well, if not, I would like everyone, if you could please give an emoji round of applause for our wonderful presenter today. Thank you so much, Ms. Carena, for presenting and sharing your knowledge with us. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you for the invitation. And as always, if anyone needs any assistance, please feel free to contact us at blss@epcc.edu. Don't forget our online office hours. Oops, please excuse my typo, epcc.edu. And as always, our office hours are available Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. for faculty, staff, and students. We are here to help, and all we ever want to do is to support your student success. So thank you to the students, to faculty, and to my colleagues. Thank you all. Stay safe out there.
Thank you, Ms. Carena. So at this time, I would like to invite you all to join us to participate in Tejano Passports. I will post the link for today's session in the chat. It's that at the apps.epcc.edu QR, and this number for this session is 2427. If you would like more information on Tahana passports or one of the steps to sign up, you can also go to the link that's listed there as well, which is www.epcc.edu/services/Tahano passport. Okay. And you can earn your own free medallion, which I think looks pretty awesome, by the way. I don't know if you've seen them, but they do look sharp. So work towards your own free medallion. Also, we would like to encourage you to download the Online Assistance PDF. It has a lot of your live links, including some of the stuff Ms. Cadena had mentioned today, including her the Blackboard Distance Learning Room, as well as the PDF that she was covering, the handbook. And so you can also get it from there as well. We paste the link in the chat for you. There you go. What you'll do is you'll go to that link and you can download that PDF to your computer. And then once it's downloaded, you'll be able to click on all those links, go straight there to where you need to go. So then the second page, we have that Blackboard guide that I had mentioned. And of course, we have Students with Centers and Disabilities, we have the bookstore, we have registration. We even have the remote toolkit page. You can click those links and go straight there. And definitely do not forget to check out our online tutoring services. We are open 7 days a week from 7 a.m. to midnight, which gives you plenty of time to come in, get some help if you need it, and we'll be very happy to see you. So feel free to come in, bring a friend or friends, and we can tutor you together. Make it fun. Have a good time. Thank you all for coming today. I would like to invite you to our next session. Give me just a moment. I'll pull up the calendar here. All right. So let me get the right date, 24th. Okay. So today we had the EPCC Culinary Arts this morning, earlier, and then we just had Ms. Cadena with the online learning. So for Career Day that's coming up, we have some interesting people coming in. We have 2 different careers that are going to be showcased. And so that's going to be pretty awesome for Fridays at 1 o'clock. And then also Friday at 3 o'clock, we have exponential and logarithmic equations for Math 13-14 students, and then system of equations for Math 13-24 students. Next Wednesday and Friday, we will not be having any Tahana virtual events, but we will miss you, and we hope you enjoy your holidays. And then the following week, we hope to see you back on April 7th. Thank you all for joining us today, and have a wonderful weekend.